In this video, I'm going to show you the step-by-step process that I go through to find drop shippers that will actually ship my products for me so I don't have to obtain inventory. Drop shipping, again, is a great way to start out if you're starting into the e-commerce space. The reason is you don't have to have inventory, you don't have to take big risks until you know products are currently selling, and at that point you could work with your margins by buying more in bulk quantity so you can actually obtain more profit. But for starting out, it's great to get drop ship arrangements in place. So the first thing you want to do is go on out and look for the types of products you want to carry. So let's say that you've decided for this example that lacrosse is a certain niche market that you want to go after. So the game of lacrosse, it's a very popular sport that seems to be trending, and you decide you want to carry items like lacrosse sticks and the lacrosse, all kinds of different items, lacrosse equipment, lacrosse helmets, the lacrosse gear. So you decide that's what you want to carry on your website. So for example, let's go over here to Dick's Sporting Goods, and we notice they are selling what's called a De Beer Women's Spire Complete Lacrosse Stick. So De Beer is the maker of this product. So what I do, once I find out the manufacturer of a product, in this case, it's called De Beer. There's also Under Armour. They actually make a lacrosse stick. Brine, they make a lacrosse stick. STX makes one as well. So you've got multiple options here, but we're just going to use De Beer as an example. And I come over here to Google, and I put in the phrase De Beer lacrosse into Google, and I do a quick search on that, and up pops the De Beer lacrosse website. So when I land on their website, I find that these guys are the manufacturer, they're the creator of this kind of lacrosse equipment. So you can see what kind of items they carry. They carry more than just the lacrosse sticks too. They have the goggles, they sell the handles, they have stuff for the goalie, the bags, the uniforms. They sell all kinds of stuff for people in the game of lacrosse. So what you can do here is go on out to their Contact Us form, and you could actually reach out to them by sending them an email, giving a phone call, which might be one of the better ways to go, or sending a letter to them. Or you could also fill out a form on their website and explain who you are, explain that you are interested in selling their products on your website, and you wanted to know if they offer drop shipping. And the key thing to ask for too, most of the time, I would say 9 times out of 10, unless you get really lucky, the manufacturer, the main company that makes the products, is not going to be the company that would actually do the drop shipping for you, but they are a good place to start. So what you could do is contact them and say, along with that, if you do not offer drop shipping, do you have contacts with any wholesale distributors that I could get in touch with? And most of the time they will reply back with wholesale distributors. And a wholesale distributor is somebody that purchases from the supplier, so from the person that actually manufactures the products. A wholesale distributor will come in and buy in large bulk quantities, and then they will go out and then they will actually do the effort of selling the product into stores, or they will offer drop shipping services for people that want to sell through e-commerce channels. So the key thing is, if you can't get it straight from the manufacturer, then you need to find a wholesale supplier. And this is going to take some effort, because De Beer, offhand, they may just say, no, we're not going to do this for you. So in that point, you go over to Brine and you contact them and see if they have somebody. Or you go to STX, this other company, and you contact STX and you say, hey, do you guys offer drop shipping arrangements for your lacrosse equipment? Or do you have a wholesale distributor that does? And another keyword you can do if you're looking in the lacrosse niche for overall products is just type in the phrase like your niche and wholesale distributors. Your niche, wholesale distributors. And so for this example, up pops this website called Laxzilla, which is a big distributor of lacrosse gear. And they seem to be one of the largest wholesale distributors since 1980. And so they would be somebody that you could contact and say, hey, you're interested in setting up an e-commerce store. Do they offer drop shipping arrangements? And they may or may not offer them right offhand. And you do have to do some hunting on certain products like this. Now, there are certain niche markets like lacrosse. It's not as big of a niche as maybe the pet niche. And so you can't simply go out to Google and just type in the phrase lacrosse drop shipping. But you could go out and let's say that you're in the pet niche. So you could say pet supply drop shipper. And so pet supply drop ship, there we go. And up will pop this company. Here's one called Majestic Pet right here, Majestic Pet, they offer drop shipping for their items, and you could go through their terms and conditions, see what kind of services they offer you overall, see if there's somebody that's been in the business for quite a while. Pet Stores USA is another very popular pet drop shipping solution for you to consider. They have been out there for quite a while. They actually explain the drop shipping process really well on their site. It's where you post the website on there, people buy, and you end up taking the profit is yours. And so that's Pet Stores USA. You could go here to Top Dog Supply. They actually carry a ton of different pet products, and you could contact them. And what these guys are, like Top Dog, Pet Supply, Pet Stores USA, and I'm familiar with these companies, and basically what they do is they go out and they purchase in bulk from China, straight from the manufacturer. So they're getting very low rock bottom prices. Now the difference is they're going to warehouse all those items for you, and they're going to ship them to your customers. They have their shipping and fulfillment in place, so you don't have to worry about those things. You're not having stacks of products that may or may not sell, and they seem to carry the products that they know are going to sell the best. So that would be where I would approach them with. And you can just do that with pet supplies, so like pet supply drop shipping. Or if you're over here on Petco, let's say, and let's go over here to the dog niche. And when you're drop shipping items, you sometimes, depends on the product, but you may want to stay away from the real small margin products, like the ones that are only selling for $5 or $10, because your profit margin's just not going to be that good. So it's not going to be worth your time posting them. And so you really want to specialize too. So if you're going to go into the pet niche, you may want to just sell pet beds. And so it's one thing to say, I'm going to go into the pet niche and I want to sell all kinds of pet products. Or you say, I love sporting goods, so I'm going to sell all kinds of sports. And it really doesn't work that way, because you really need to niche yourself down. And so that means you want to be very niche specific. And so, like for example, this one, instead of just saying that they're going to be selling everything having to do with sporting goods, they decided just to sell baseball products. Or you could just sell lacrosse gear, lacrosse equipment. Or if you're going to go into the pet space, which is enormous, and then the dog supply space as well is even big, is just huge as well. And pets could go any direction, so you could sell just dog products, just cat products. You could specialize in pet beds, for example, and sell pet beds for dogs and cats and other animals as well. But if we come over here, let's look at under the dog category, let's look at the different dog beds. And here we're going to see some real popular ones. Obviously, Petco has their own brand name in there. They've actually got some private label pet beds that they branded with their name. And if I came over here, Brinkman, that seems to be an orthopedic dog bed brand. So I'm going to just copy that in there and just go over here to Google, and we're going to look up Brinkman. Let's say Brinkman pet bed. And there's their website, brinkmanpet.com. And what you can do is go to their website here, contact us, and you could get in touch with them by snail mail or by doing a phone call, which is most of the time ideal way to go when you're dealing with these manufacturers, is to pick up the phone and call them. You're going to get a direct answer that way and be able to get the help you need. And just let them know, hey, I'm looking for a wholesale distributor for your products. Could you point me in the right direction? And what they'll do is they'll look up in their system who some of their suppliers are. You could contact those different suppliers and see if they drop ship and if they do those kind of arrangements. Sometimes if you go about it this way, you're going to come across some really cool resources, and it's going to be even though it's a little more labor intensive, you're going to be carrying products that maybe not everybody else is carrying, all the other small players. Because a lot of the small players, they may go to a store like Pet Stores USA that carries all kinds of pet products, and they're just going to list all those products. But if you find a product you really like, you could do some legwork this way. And it's really a matter of just putting in some effort and going through the channels. So what I do is I research the products that I want to carry. I find out the brand name. I contact the manufacturer, see if they do drop shipping. Most of the time they don't. If they do not, I find out if they have a wholesale distributor or supplier that I could get in touch with. And it is kind of labor intensive, but it's well worth the effort, and it's a great way to go. So we'll do this one more time. One more example here. We're going to look up, let's go back here to Google, and let's type in makeup drop shippers. So this one, the bornprettystore.com, looks like they actually have a drop shipping page, and they actually offer drop shipping for their various items as well. So you can see the types of products that they carry. You could look up makeup and beauty, jewelry and accessories. And let's look up eye makeup, for example. So these are different products that this site is actually carrying, and they do offer drop shipping to some extent. So this may be one, if you research it, that you could find out that they do offer a good service and it's products that you could sell on your site. And again, if there are certain kinds of makeups or types of products that you want to find, then what you could do is go through the channels of contacting the suppliers, manufacture those, and seeing if they offer some sort of a drop ship arrangement so that you can send it out. And we could do the same thing like vitamins and supplements. Vitamins and supplements. So here's one that's called VitaBase. They actually offer a drop ship program for their products as well. So they actually offer a drop shipping arrangement for all your products. They have a website, VitaBase, very large company in the supplement niche. One other thing for you to just to keep in mind here, another source you can go to, this site is called dropshipcritic.com. They do a really good job of actually reviewing and laying out some of the top drop shipping and wholesale supply sources out there. And one of the best ones that they do a good job reviewing is called Worldwide Brands. And Worldwide Brands has been around since 1999, and they've got a very good Better Business Bureau ranking. I've personally used them. They have one of the best sources you can find on the internet for drop shippers. And so if you're having a hard time finding drop ship suppliers, you should definitely look into Worldwide Brands. And this site, Dropship Critic, actually does a really good job of comparing like Doba, which is a popular drop ship solution, to Worldwide Brands, compares Doba to Shopster, Salehu versus Worldwide Brands. So you can kind of determine which one is the best one to go. And they offer really good unbiased reviews for you to check out. And so again, Worldwide Brands is one that I have used personally. I think it's a great service that they offer. They actually give you real drop shippers. And so this is kind of another last ditch effort if you can't find suppliers going through these other methods that I showed you. So getting your suppliers in place and making sure that you can actually make a margin, that's really important. And before you really go gung-ho, once you find a drop shipper, it's good to pick out some of their products. You don't need to sell them all, but pick out some of their products and then put them into Google and kind of get a rough idea on the pricing. You could look on Amazon to see what they're selling for. And again, Amazon, if Amazon's going to be cheaper, that's completely fine. That happens. It's very hard to compete with Amazon, but you also want to make sure that it's not found cheaper on every other website on the internet. So you do want to do your due diligence once you find a drop shipper, but Worldwide Brands will make your life a lot easier when looking for those drop ship suppliers.